Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today I am here with another important and basic topic of surgery, that is wound. What is a wound? It is a break in integrity of skin or tissue and often may be associated with disruption of structure and function. I am Dr. Muhammad Salim Iqbal, Deputy Controller of Examination, Faisalabad Medical University, Faisalabad, Assistant Professor of Surgery, Certified in Medical Teaching from University of Health Sciences, Lahore, Research and Clinical Coordinator to Vice Chancellor, Faisalabad Medical University, Faisalabad, Spokesman of Faisalabad Medical University, Faisalabad. Before I proceed to today's important topic, I request you to subscribe my channel and press on bell icon. Agenda of today's lecture is classification of wounds, classification of wound closure, wound healing phases, principle of wound suturing, and factors affecting wound healing. Different types of wound classification. Classification number 1, simple wounds and complex wound. Simple wounds are those in which only skin is involved. Complex wounds are those in which skin along with underlying structure, for example tendons, nerve, vessels, muscles, are involved. Classification number 2, tidy wounds and untidy wounds. Tidy wounds are like surgical incisions. Untidy wounds are those wounds which are having devitalized tissues, for example crushed injuries. Classification number 3, which is also called as surgical classification of wounds. This is clean wound, clean contaminated wounds, dirty or infected wounds. I will give brief explanation of all the 4 types in next slide. Classification number 4, closed wounds, for example hematoma, bruises, and open wounds, for example lacerated wounds and abrasions. Now briefly about surgical classification of wounds. Clean wounds. These are incisions that are made under sterile conditions and surgeon does not enter into any cavity, for example in GIT cavity, tracheobronchial tree, genitourinary system, or oropharynx. These are not infected. Infection rate is less than 1 to 2%. These wounds should always be closed. Clean contaminated wounds. These are similar to clean wounds except that bowel, tracheobronchial tree, genitourinary system, or oropharynx is entered. There is no evidence of infection, and examples include routine procedures, for example appendicectomy and routine cholecystectomy. Infection rate is 5 to 10%, and these wounds should be closed if there is no other major risk factor. Then contaminated wounds. These are similar to clean contaminated wounds except there is major contamination of wound during performance of procedure. Infection rate is 15 to 20%. Example includes performance of cholecystectomy in empyema of gallbladder where there is spillage of pus, and these wounds should be left open. Then infected or dirty wound. We will label them when the incision is made in already established infected area. These wounds have infection rate of around 30 to 40%. These wounds should always be left open. Example include incision and drainage of abscess, treatment of appendicular abscess. Tidy versus untidy wounds. Tidy wounds are incised, clean, having healthy tissues, and there is seldom tissue loss. Untidy wounds are crushed or avulsed, contaminated, they have devitalized tissue, and often there is tissue loss. Classification of wound closures. Primary closure. In wounds where there is less risk of infection, that is in clean and clean contaminated wounds, primary closure offer best result. In primary closure, all layers are closed with suture material. Incision heals by first intention and less time is required for healing, and there is minimal scar formation. Healing by secondary closure. When there is high risk of infection, then wounds are left open to heal by epithelialization and wound contraction. This is appropriate in case of infection, excessive trauma, tissue loss, or imprecise approximation of tissues. Secondary closure takes a lot of time and scar is bad. Third method is tertiary closure or delayed primary closure. In this technique, wounds are left open for few days. They are washed thoroughly, daily dressings are done, and after approximately 7 to 10 days, wounds are closed. Wound healing phases. Process of wound healing is divided into 4 main phases: coagulation phase, inflammation phase, proliferative phase, and remodeling or maturation phase. Coagulation phase starts immediately after injury. In coagulation phase, local mediators are released from injured site and they cause vasoconstriction, platelet plug formations, and fibrin plug formation. Next phase is inflammation phase. It starts once coagulation phase is over. Inflammation phase depends on the site and impact. If there is no infection present in that area, this phase will continue for 1 week. Polymorphonuclear cells are migrated into this area, and on 3rd to 4th day they start replacing with macrophages. In inflammatory phase, the purpose is to remove the debris and all the insult that has been caused. Once the inflammatory phase is over, next phase will be proliferative phase. Proliferative phase continue for approximately 3 weeks. In proliferative phase, the fibroblasts that has been migrated into the wound site in inflammatory phase, they start depositing collagen fibers. But the collagen fibers that are deposited in proliferative phase are of immature form. Their strength is poor. Wound remodeling phase. It starts approximately 3 weeks after primary insult and continue for years. In wound remodeling phase, immature collagen starts converting into mature form. This phase gives strength to wound. Approximately 90% of strength is gained in 6 weeks following injury. This algorithm is showing healing response. Phase 1, that is coagulation phase, also named as hemostasis, purpose is to stop bleeding. Then inflammatory or reactive phase sets in, causing chemotaxis and epithelial migrations. Then proliferative or regenerative phase starts. This phase causes connective tissue regeneration and proliferation and maturation of cells. Then maturational or remodeling phase starts. In this phase, there is wound contraction, scarring and remodeling of scar. Principles of wound suturing. Primary suturing should not be done if there is edema, infection, devitalized tissue or gross hematoma at the wound site. Associated injuries of deeper structure should be looked for before wound closure. Proper evaluation of deeper structure should be done by proper wound exploration. Wound should be properly cleaned under aseptic technique, and wound excision and debridement should be done if required. Any foreign body in wound should be removed. If skin closure is possible without tension, then it should be preferred and done. Skin cover should be done by graft or flap, either at the time of injury or after few days. Untidy wound should be made tidy and clean before suturing if possible. Proper aseptic precaution should be undertaken. Antibiotics and analgesia should be prescribed. Suture wound should be inspected after 48 to 72 hours, and sutures applied to wound should be removed after 5 to 14 days depending on site. Briefly, I will discuss about factors that affects wound healing. I will divide into local factor and systemic or general factors. Local factors that affects wound healing are infection, presence of necrotic tissue or foreign body, poor blood supply, venous or lymph stasis, tissue tension, hematoma, large defects or poor apposition, recurrent trauma, wound at X-ray irradiated area, then site of wounds, for example wound over joints and back has poor healing, underlying disease of that area, for example malignancy, mechanism and type of wound, tissue hypoxia. All these factors delay wound healing. All surgeons should keep in mind these factors before deciding wound closure techniques. General factors are age. Old age patients have poor wound healing, obesity, smoking, malnutrition and deficiencies of vitamin and trace elements, anemia, malignancy, uremia, jaundice, diabetes, metabolic diseases, HIV and immunosuppressive diseases, steroids and cytotoxic drugs, neuropathies of different causes. These factors should be kept in mind before deciding wound closure techniques because these all factors delay wound healing. If you have any question about the topic, you are free to contact me on my following accounts. I dedicate my lecture to my teachers. Thank you very much for your valuable time. Take care. Remember me in your prayers. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.